What are his powers? What's up with the bad guy? Do superheroes have a group chat or what? Riding on the high of the mischievous, hilarious, and sometimes touching film, we want to clear up a couple questions about Billy Batson and his bigger, better self. Shazam opens with the creation of the villain, Thaddeus Sivana. Bullied and belittled by his family, he is naturally tempted by the voices of the seven deadly sins, who promise power and respect. He fails the wizard's test and is forever scarred. The wizard casts a spell to seek the pure of heart and find someone worthy of his name. When Billy Batson takes the test, things go differently.
Billy Batson, I choose you.
The sins aren't there to tempt him, and the wizard chooses him as champion. Sivana's research indicates that hundreds of people have been found before Billy, and each had in some way failed. Were they all sinners at their core? Why was the wizard so picky in the first place? The wizard had been burned before, bequeathing his power to Death Adam, who became a tyrant and unleashed the seven deadly sins. Originally, Black Adam, as portrayed by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson himself, was set to appear in the film. Perhaps we'll see exactly what happens when a wizard gives power to someone not so pure of heart in the Black Adam solo film. There are rarely hard and fast rules for magic, which makes this implementation confusing. In Shazam, Sivana, Billy, and countless other people are spirited away to a cave-like lair known as the Rock of Eternity. There, the wizard resides surrounded by empty thrones. The seven deadly sins are imprisoned in stone. This place isn't on any map, much to the frustration of Sivana, who dedicates his life to finding it. It's in kind of a limbo that can only be accessed through magic. According to the comics, the Rock of Eternity resides within multiple dimensions at once. This helps explain a thoroughly confusing sequence during which Billy and his new family run around the maze-like rock and discover a collection of doors straight out of Monsters, Inc. Behind each one, there's some kind of strange other world. The movie's explanation of this is basically just because magic. People typically don't fund mad scientists. They are forced to work in abandoned castles and basement labs. Their only friend, a typically inept and malformed crony, but not Dr. Sivana. He has a couple dozen scientists working under him in a busy lab. Only when you walk into his personal office does his lifetime obsession with the mythical Rock of Eternity and seven deadly sins begin to show. Sivana has been especially smart to hide his desperate search into the realm of unknowable magic as a study of mass hallucination. Sivana Industries seems to be a lucrative business, on par with Wayne Enterprises and LexCorp. It is also a family company, as emphasized from the patronizing video that plays in the building's elevator. Maybe Sivana Industries is involved with mental health or behavioral studies in the DC Extended Universe, which would have allowed Sivana to inconspicuously study magic under his alibi. Plus, if there have really been so many wizard abductions, that seems like a worthy phenomena to look into. The seven deadly sins are evil, powerful, and seriously ugly. The rest of the details are fuzzy. Are they demons? The actual seven deadly sins? According to the film, they are manifestations of the worst of mankind. In the comics, they were known as the seven deadly enemies of man, which de-emphasizes the Judeo-Christian connection. The comics also explain exactly how they carry out their chaotic plans, which seems to involve causing as much misery as possible. Envy, greed, wrath, gluttony, lust, sloth, and pride speak sweet nothings to their victims, promising that they'll give them whatever their hearts desire. They do give full power, but at a cost. The sins possess their victims, so Sivana's own evil tendencies were amplified. Demon might not be the most correct terminology, but they sure look the part. In the world of Shazam, just about anything seems possible. Superheroes can be spotted flying. There are secret kingdoms beneath the waves. Superman sometimes shows up in high school cafeterias, and according to the lore artfully detailed in Wonder Woman, the Greek pantheon was very real and very powerful. They were killed by Ares, except for Zeus, who created the Amazonians to protect humanity from the god of war's wrath. Shazam's powers are derived from and equivalent to some of the most famous names in mythology, which suggests that perhaps they themselves have been involved with the wizards on the Rock of Eternity. When Billy grasps the staff of the wizard, which, yes, I'm phrasing, is that still a thing? He is gifted with the wisdom of Solomon and the strength of Hercules, the stamina of Atlas, the power of Zeus, the courage of Achilles, and the speed of Mercury, who goes by his Roman name. The first letters of their names spell out Shazam.
Shazam! Are you for real? Sorry, okay! Shazam?
Billy doesn't seem to be too wise when it comes to handling his powers responsibly, but his lightning hands are certainly Zeus-like. The first scenes of the film have since lined up conveniently in the Rock of Eternity. They're just as terrible in stone as they are in flesh when Sivana absorbs them and takes them into the mortal plane. When he confronts the board of his father's company, the sleek conference room quickly crowds when 7 demonic entities crash the meeting. Even though they exist in smoke and dust in Sivana's evil eye, they are solid when they unceremoniously rip into the board members. Lust has tentacles, greed an extra set of arms, gluttony a huge mouth with big teeth, envy a goblin-like appearance, sloth has sloth arms, and pride has huge bat wings and horns. The comics mention that pride might be the most dangerous of all the 7 deadly sins, but the winged nightmare seems content to give center stage to its buddies. It isn't a surprise when Freddy's YouTube video of Captain Sparklefingers or the Red Cyclone go viral. In the DCEU, YouTube must be filled with quick moments of superheroes caught on tape. What's surprising is that people in the movie aren't all that enthralled with a new hero whose powers seem to rival those of Superman's. Remember that this is in the same universe where Superman was compared to a god. Shazam only manages to gather a small crowd of admirers when he's showing off his lightning hands. The tone of Shazam marks a notable departure from the very serious, dark, and gritty films of the DCEU. Instead of digging into the international uproar from the appearance of another superhuman, the movie focuses on the kids in the cast. Director David F. Sandberg has said that he mined the Spielberg-directed adventures of his childhood and the expertise of the kids on set for a more fun tone. Shazam is a family film, so there are Fortnite references instead of bloody death scenes.
Shazam is one of very few superhero characters that is genuinely stoked to be a superhero.
Is Shazam overpowered? The twist that saved everyone's bacon when things looked darkest was that Billy, as champion, could share his power with his family. With the shouts of Shazam and a burst of lightning, all the kids get a superhero makeover. All adult, athletic, and ultra-powerful. They each seem to have a particularly strong dose of one of Shazam's signature powers, whether that's speed for Darla, flight for Freddy, or strength for Pedro. Though it seems all of Shazam's powers have been split among the kids, Billy still has his full arsenal. This suggests that Billy could have made a whole army of superheroes before he snapped the wizard's magical staff in half. This may have been part of the wizard's grand scheme, considering the empty thrones on the Rock of Eternity. It would be up to the new champion to fill them, and Billy expedites the process by creating 5 new Shazams. The kids in the Vasquez house are pretty smart. Eugene, for example, is a next-level computer whiz who manages to track down Billy's birth mother. They think fast and are incredibly perceptive. They adjust relatively well to being introduced to a world of supervillains and smoke monsters. They seem to instantly recognize the ugly monsters in Sivana's eye as sins. Mary realizes they are somehow connected to how strong Sivana is. Did we miss the part where they were given an explanation? They've proven time and again to be quick studies. Freddy is a superhero expert.
You're the only person I know that knows anything about this Cape Crusader stuff.
Mary did everything she could to get into her dream college. Even quiet Pedro was the one to find Billy's book full of leads on the location of his mom. As it turns out, envy is actually one of the more dangerous sins. It stays cozied up in Sivana's evil eye for as long as possible, until Billy manages to finally provoke it out of hiding. Why envy? The sins work by preying on base instincts and feelings. Envy is the most powerful feeling for Sivana because he envies Billy for having been chosen as Shazam's champion. Envious and bitter, he makes himself into the Sims champion to spite the wizard who said he wasn't good enough. Envy eats him up inside, and without it, he was powerless. The end credit scenes after superhero movies are often clues for what's to come. Usually, only the most ardent of comic fans know exactly what's happening in these brief snatches of exposition. In the mid-credit scene from Shazam, when Sivana is seen madly scribbling graffiti on his prison cell, we start to understand the importance of that little caterpillar seen at the Rock of Eternity. His name is Mr. Mind, and he's one of the most diabolical creatures in the DC universe. As his name suggests, he's super smart, and he uses his incredible intellect for evil. In the comics, this little worm at the plan to assemble the Monster Society of Evil. Sivana is likely the first recruit, having teamed up with Mr. Mind in the comics many times before. Mr. Mind also has mind control powers, which probably come in handy when trying to take over the world. We've yet to see exactly what his plans are in the DCEU, but they are not good. It's easy to assume that most superheroes know each other, or are at least aware of each other. Powerful figures like Superman or personalities like Aquaman's are hard to miss. Justice League allowed them to really get to know each other. For Billy, these are still legendary figures akin to celebrities. He's probably just as excited as Freddy to meet Superman for the first time. In the comics, Supes and Billy go way back. Black Adam, the aforementioned champion gone bad, is powerful enough to make even the almighty Superman balk. It takes the combined might of Shazam and Superman to take him down in the 2010 animated movie Superman/Shazam: The Return of Black Adam. With a Black Adam film on the way, presumably with a slightly grittier feel than Shazam, the Superman cameo might be connected with Black Adam's return. Maybe Superman needed information from Shazam about a similarly powered villain on the rise, or maybe he's something of a welcoming committee for new superheroes. At least he would have felt the need to check out a new ultra-powerful hero just to make sure he doesn't have any villainous tendencies. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about Shazam are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.